Hey, actually rolling now, filming. Perfect. Good. We may as well start then.
Should we go?
Great. Well, hey, welcome to the studio. I'm looking at all the cameras. I'm not quite sure. I think that one looks like it. So we're not sure what to call this. What is this? A video in our...
We call it Videonar,
A videonar.
which is a kind of new format that we should...
But it's improv.
video
Yes,
now.
no?
So it's a
Videonar.
vidimprov something.
Or Improvisonar.
In improvisonar.
That was it,
Welcome
wasn't it?
to the
Improvisational.
first internet retailing improvisanar, which, as you can see, we're in our podcast studio, and we were going to do a webinar. I'll just explain. So last year, we did a retail breakfast, and Nam came and just gave such a good presentation. We said, look, more people need to see this, and I wanted to get a walkthrough, so it wasn't just marketing stuff, but actually how stuff works in real life. Track forward a few months, here we are in the studio, trying out a new format. So what could go wrong? But look, with me to experience this, Nam and Fran, just tell everyone who you are. Nam, you start off.
So I start then.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. I'm Nam Tram. I'm the global head of customer experience at the Kooples, French fashion brand. It's not Londonian because normally people should know that it's from France. I know the Kooples doesn't sound like French.
It doesn't.
Doesn't know. But it's London calling.
Yeah.
It's DNA based on the Savile Row. Everything's based on Savile Row for the suits as well. So people are confusing a bit, but we're French and we're proud to be French. Let's say it again. We're quite new. We're a French fashion brand. Only have 12 years of existing. So French new. And for myself, I'm a former, I will say, customer eccentric, who became a customer centric.
That's very
How nice.
That's a very nice
Lovely.
idea. And I think that's going to play nicely when we hear the story of how, the development of customer interaction as well. Just to help us with the footprint, how big a business is it? Countries, stores, staff? What can you tell us about the size of it?
Became, with 12 years, so we're young, but we still have a international development which has been fast. We have now more than 360 stores around the world in more than 20 countries. We also have a lot of internet websites which features, for French markets, UK website as well, Germany as well, and the Europe and the rest of Europe part as well. And now we try to expand, we expand to Asia as well, and the US.
Wow.
And Asia will be, the very next step for 2020. So,
Great.
yes.
Now, Fran, welcome.
Thank
Tell
you.
everyone who you are and a bit about who you work for.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Fran. I head up the marketing for a company called iAdvize. We are a conversational platform. What does that mean? Well, we combine the best of human and artificial intelligence to enhance the customer experience. So we're delighted to have Nam here because he's one of our wonderful customers.
Great. Now, look, we often chat to people and they go, blah, 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 our software does blah, blah, blah. So in the roundtable we had, we talked about this in a lot of detail. So we said, how can we show this to people? So we've actually got an end-to-end walkthrough that shows the customer view, also behind the scenes about how the operators view it. And we are going to make that available on the site. So whether it's over the screen, in text, somehow we'll give you a link to that
TBC.
video. TBC, technology allowing. So we'll do that. Now, this is about conversational commerce. Sounds like jargon. So tell us what it is and what drove you or allowed you to get to this rather than just flogging stuff from a shop or a website.
Basically, you have, when you go in store, when you go into one of a store, there's a salesperson to advise you. So there's always someone who can advise you on, which kind of style do you want to fit in, what is the care of your items as well. And when you're on your online website, then there's no one to help you. Then you're on your own. You need to find the online project by yourself. You need to go by yourself to find the perfect fitting. Even for a special event, for example, if you have a wedding, then you're looking for the perfect wedding dress, or not for you, not for the wedding. As an
Don't
invite.
exclude me. Thank you.
Ian, ever worn a wedding dress?
I'm not. This is being recorded, so no.
Okay, bad example. And then, we were looking for someone who was online to help the customer to convert and to have, the good advice at the right moment on the right channel.
But when you say good advice, most experience of bots is something pops up and says, "Hi, I am made up name," and it's basically text recognition that tries to ram some product down your throat or just recites an FAQ. So how is your online interaction different to that?
We do actually work on a specific targeting strategy, which is based on your behavior online. So, for example, if you spend 30 seconds on a specific page product or on a specific items, on returns conditions, checkouts, so we think that you need help. So basically, you need someone to save you from this disaster, right? Someone to help you to to get the right information to finalize your payment, for example. So we work with iAdvize on a very behavioral strategy to propose the at the right moment, the pop up that you mentioned with the right message, because you can personalize the message saying, something like, "Hey, I'm Nam." So I'm not the only one who take care of the online conversation. I can reassure you. But yes. Hey, it's Nam. I'm specialized on suits. Do you need specific help on this suit as well? So should be personalized to not be the bad message at the right moments. It's like I always have this example in store when you don't want to be bothered. You on your own personal shopping experience, and someone came and say, "Hey, do you need help? Do you need help? Do you need help?"
Say, "No, leave me alone."
No, leave me alone, right? so this is the contrary that we want to towards online.
Now, Fran, this is obviously must be using some cunning algorithms somewhere, but it's a blend of human and technology, isn't that right?
Yeah.
So rather than me make it up, you tell us.
Well, it's all about targeting the right person at the right time. As Nam said, it's one of those situations where you don't just want to be constantly there on the website. Can I help you? Can I help you? Etc. So basically, what we do is we use the targeting rules to target people when they need when they look like they need assistance, and we work very closely with the brand to define what that means. And for us, it's quite simple. So, we're not professing to have these amazing chatbots and AI and we're going to solve all of your problems. What we do is very sensibly think, well, what can a chatbot handle? So a chatbot can handle a simple FAQ. Where's my order? Is this in stock or does it come in a different color or something like that? And the next piece is, well, where's a human relevant? So how are we adding that human touch? So essentially, a more complex query, it requires empathy. You want someone that's passionate about the brand, that has knowledge specifically on suits, for example, as Nam said. So that piece is where the technology is smart, because when that comes into play, we seamlessly escalate to a human, and it's almost like we say, and it's one of our sort of taglines, but it's directing the visitor to the right respondent at the right time.
So that respondent could be, I don't know, a robotic FAQ, it could be a carbon-based life form. How do you know that that person has expertise? So there's no point asking me about suits. So how do you know where to route that? So.
Sure. So, Nam can speak to this as well. So we have sort of different options. So you different journeys, if you like. So you can start with a chatbot. The query becomes more complex. Where's next? So where can our super cool technology seamlessly reroute you to? Who is that? So for example, we have independent experts. So they chat on behalf of brands.
Now hang on, whoa, pause.
I'm pausing.
Independent experts.
Yes.
So are you saying, Nam, that you have your lovely brand, you've built it up, and then you hand over to somebody who doesn't work for you to answer customers' questions? Just talk me through that.
Actually, yes, we had a great conversation back in the days with iAdvize, and I came up with a problem. I say, I evaluate the traffic on the website and say that people log in the morning, at noon, and at night. So as I'm not bossy. I don't force anyone to work early morning, noon, or at night. And I spoke with iAdvize, and they say, yes, you're missing 70% of the contact opportunities. So you're not here when your customers are on your websites. So I mentioned that. I say, how can I solve this matter? And they say, you should hire some experts. And we're working on a features which is EBU. So it's called EBU. It's the iAdvize features. And iAdvize will be able to actually source talents for you. I mean, not talents, but people like you and me. I mean, for example, we can chat for our favorite brand. You can be ambassadors for brands. And as they're not the Kooples employees, they keep the ability to advise someone for a customer to another customer, which is quite important for us.
And they're identified as someone who's maybe, I don't know, an urban style fan or somebody who loves tailoring, and then they're giving honest advice, customer to customer or fan to fan.
And they're independent, and that's really what we pride ourselves on. We're not hiring, we're not recruiting anybody. They're independent experts who are, it's really tapping into that gig economy piece, is doing what they love.
But are they paid? I mean, I know French people are obviously lovely and want to help everyone else, but when you put an ad or you acquire the people, are they paid or
they are
commission? Yeah,
they are. I mean, the business model is quite simple, and I think it's a win-win. Either for the advisors and for advice and for us, they paid by conversation. So either time they take conversation, they get paid, and for us it's quite important because they not only evaluate on the turnover they made over a conversation, so they will not, I will say, refuse a conversation which is, for example, post sales. So for example, if a customer came and say, "Where's my order? How can I check my return? How can I be refunded?" Then even if it's an expert from the brand, he will take over the demand. He will handle the request well and escalate if needed to my team.
Interesting. And so again, it's a global brand. Brands like certainty, controlling the message. What was the conversation behind closed doors at the Kooples? We said, I've got this great idea. Was it led by, there's 70% of sales we're missing I can pick up on? Just tell me what the metrics were and how that conversation went to actually get the green light to do this.
We actually had to discuss internally about this because actually, externalize one of your tool to experts, that mean that you won't be able to control what they say, correct? But yeah, there was the business impact of the 70% of conversation missed because no one was logged during the traffic peak. But there was actually another great initiative internally to say if we're able to source the right person. So if iAdvize allow us to select the right people, so we made up a test. For example, we made up a quiz with question on fashion, question on suits, question on the brands, question on fashion affinity as well. So we will be able to source the right people, to select the right people, and then be able as well to to have a live feed. So I'm more talking about the way we talk with them and to interact with them. So we will be able to share with them, contents, flash news. For example, if the deliveries have been lost, it never happens on the Kooples, don't worry. If there's a special offer, 10% off, on this specific date, so we should be able to have the live feed and then give them the right information, so they feel like they belong to my team. So it's a great addition to the team as well.
It's very very collaborative, and that's how we work with brands. It's not we don't go off and find experts and say, here they are and they're chatting and we're good to go. Is very much selected with the brand. We can put measures in place like the quiz, as Nam was saying, or sometimes actually brands select their most loyal customers as their experts.
So if somebody is listening to this, and I'm sure that fashion forward young digital natives are our target demographic on this webby poddy innovative now.
I can't remember what we called it.
How do people sign up for this or come across it as an expert roving around the world? Can they apply to you? Is it
Yes.
total luck?
So we have the IBU community. So you can apply for, we call them missions. So there's certain missions available based on what expertise you have, and then when you apply for those missions, whatever criteria is set by us and the brand, you have to kind of, I guess, jump through those hoops, if you like, and answer the quiz and whatever else we put in place. If the brand needs to specifically interview them, then that's how it is. So yeah, it's widely available, the IBU community. So you can apply see what missions we have available and
Great. Well, we'll put that link in however we're doing links on this as
somewhere.
well. So why don't we then just have the walkthrough? So we've got a screencast of a journey from looking at the website. I think the shopping journey is around
The Kooples
wedding
website.
stuff.
Yes.
And the
we went
Kooples
for
website. So we're going to
wedding,
go through the first bit to see how the interaction pops up digitally. And then I'm going to pause you. Then we'll have a look behind the scenes to see what the operators see.
Yes, sounds
so,
good.
Right. I'm going to press that and see if that works. Now I'm going to press the right button, and I'm sure that'll work a lot better. Good. So this is the...
There's no music. I don't think there is.
No, that's fine. So here we see them looking. They're coming from Google. So just talk us through how this is working.
So the scenario, so someone's shopping for a wedding outfit on Google here. So, goes to the Cooples,
Yeah, I
finds
can
the
see
Cooples website.
nice website. Now this is going at twice speed. So we've just had a little quote mark pop up, which is the interactive element. Now that waited a bit before saying anything. It was just there, and now this person is asking us about the wedding outfit.
That's correct.
So this is one of your people, or is this a bot?
Yes, an expert. It's actually one of the experts, and actually, as the behavior of the customer was about the wedding dress, and we have wedding experts outfits as well. So Audrey, as the expert, take over the conversation, and should be able, to advise the person. Should be able to send her photos. As well,
Yeah,
links.
the rich content feature.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
No problem.
And so Audrey was just wandering around and then got an alert saying, high value customer, help needed. Great. And so now we've popped onto the onto a mobile
version.
device.
Correct.
So working as well. Oh, it's Audrey again, very busy.
Responsive.
Yes.
As well.
Very
quick.
responsive. On the app as well, on the IBU app responding.
So again, we're seeing a mix of chat-like features, ratings, stars, and so on. And then this is a basket build.
That's correct. Basically, what we want to show on this video is that if you're well advised, then you should be able to find the perfect outfit as well, obviously. But then Audrey has been able also to make additional sales as well, because she probably the customer came up with an idea, and she left with other ideas like bags and shoes.
But now this looks like an order amendment flow.
Yes.
So she's wanting to exchange
bought a bag,
products.
and she's found out her best friend has also got the same bag.
Yes.
So she's gone back and she's using the chatbot feature to say, I'd like to amend an order.
And again,
Correct.
from her perspective, a combination of pretty straightforward routine processes, amend, exchange, return.
Exactly.
But we're now seeing a human being kick in as well as just the bot flow. And
Correct.
for me, this is Tim now, was he? This was pretty seamless.
Yeah, and that's how it's and that's the whole the whole idea of it is creating these seamless customer journeys where you're sort of not having to then email somebody or call somebody. So she's bought a wedding outfit using the advice of an independent expert. She wants to return a bag. She's gone through the chatbot function. How do I make a return? Actually, she wants to pick it up from store, so she's now speaking to an agent.
Right.
Where's
and
it
we're
available
also
in the
seeing
store?
recommendations. There's store stock,
Yeah,
deploying a replacement, showing the picture of the replacement. So this is kind of not just personal shopping, or personalized. It's actually a personal interaction.
yeah.
So the operators then, obviously this is a walkthrough. In real life, this is a realistic response time.
Yes, I mean, at least if it's a real human, then, because as Fran mentioned, then we wanted to propose the right ecosystem of conversation. Propose the boats when there's we call it low value request, but it's more like, how can I return my orders? How can I track my parcel? Something like a human can have a value, but you can automatize some of the answer as well. And then when you escalate an answer, there's a real person who take over the conversation, and it's real time. So either it's an expert, if it's midnight, I won't say midnight because I'm not sure if it's someone who will be always logged at midnight on a website, but sometimes they are logged. But as we can't, once again, we can't force them to be logged. It's on their own if they want to be.
Yeah, of course, like they're independent, as we keep saying.
But I suppose if they see that their midnight hour is beneficial because you've got customers on, then it will reinforce because the business model benefits both sides.
Well, absolutely, because they're getting they're getting paid for that. So, and also I think we can, when we're selecting experts, it's very much this is the peak period. Do you have availability during this time?
So let's talk numbers then. Obviously, you start off with none because it doesn't exist. No. Then you have a pilot and scales up. So for a live operation, what number of actual employees do you have and eBoo community members? What's it taking to sustain your current level of operation?
So we do start with 3 experts at eBoo, first on one market, which is the French one. Internally, I have four agents who take over the live chats, and we forecasted because we actually see the peak traffic on the website. So we plan that we have a specific number of conversation over this period. So we first launched it over 3 months, which was our tryout, I would say, the pilot, say, and then we managed to see the efficiency of the system, because the first metric that we wanted to follow up with was the average baskets. So basically, the average baskets turnover made a conversation is quite high, because you've been followed by someone who at the end of your checkout will be able to advise you during every step of the customer journey. But the most value of the expert was the authenticity. Authenticity. Sorry. The authenticity of his conversation, and the fact that he wasn't a customer employee, at first. So you trust him. So if Fran was a huge fan, you're a huge fan of the Kooples, right?
Of course.
Right. If Fran was a huge fan of the Kooples, I came on the website. I spoke with Fran. Fran says she's an expert, but she's not an employee of the brands. She advised me on how to get well dressed for a wedding as well. I will listen to her. That's natural.
Stepping outside of this, Instagram influencers, professional influencers, are getting a bad rap at the moment. Some would say deservedly. I wouldn't comment with my whole 400 followers. How are you navigating the authenticity and independence? Do you signal the relationship you have with them? How does that work so that I can trust Fran, the Kooples expert, at midnight tonight?
Fran can answer, I think, better, but you can actually write something down just before the beginning of the conversation. You can say, Nam, I'm an independent expert for the fashion for this fashion brand. I live in Besançon, because I come from Besançon. Sorry, I mentioned it.
We profile them just to. So there's an option to. Say you're chatting to an independent expert. This is how many conversations they've handled. This is their rating.
Right.
So it's really just that, like, proofing it, basically.
Okay.
Almost like when you have like an Uber driver, this, how many trips they've had, how many stars, etc. Yeah. So we do that as well, and we do it with, you're chatting to an agent, an independent expert, or you're chatting to a chat bot. Okay. So it's not nothing's really a secret. And I think the worst is when you sort of try and pretend it's something else, and then people just get annoyed. So
of course. Right, let's switch now. So we're halfway through, about 3:40 on the video for those of you who are following along at home. Let's now jump to see the behind the scenes view. So this is the dashboard control center.
Quite simple to use. actually. We have the intern team who use it in the strategical targeting strategy is based on this tool. So you should be able to define your engagement campaign. You can define the scenario when it be launched.
So you have device, you have the type of activity,
Yes.
whether it's retention or value or
Intention.
conversion. Yeah.
The number of time you spend on the page, specific page. So as I mentioned, like if you are a terms and condition page, then we will launch a specific type of agent because it's specialized on care.
And these targeting rules, this looks very straightforward to build, but behind the scenes there must have been data integration to get the feeds coming and build those rules. In real life, do the agents have the ability to do this, or is this something that you do centrally?
No, we do it centrally with iAdvize in the first place because
This is part of the setup.
yes, it is part of
It's
it.
part of the setup and the ongoing. We never call it a setup because it's like an ongoing managed service. So you get with iAdvize, it's not an out of the box product. You get this service, you get a dedicated customer success and a customer success strategist
Right.
throughout your whole life with iAdvize, if you like. So it's constantly honing in on what behaviours are we seeing? How
Right.
can we hone in on that? So it's almost like the balance, isn't it? Like we want like clients such as Nam to be able to just go ahead and feel free to do it as he wishes, but then obviously we want to guide him through that as well.
And again, although it's a software sell from your perspective, how often do you then have to chat? Is it a sort of sell it, forget it? Is it a, you're collaborating all the time? Is it occasional update? What's the actual in-life relationship like?
Yeah, I mean, for us, we very much sounds a bit cliche, but our customers are partners of ours.
Does sound cliche.
It does,
But we believe you.
But so it's regular. I mean, how much do you speak to? So Patricia is
A lot
Clemence.
actually.
Speak a lot.
I mean, yearly we have business review as well, to set up the new strategy for the year. But then as soon as there's any issues, I mean, regarding the targeting strategy, there's not that much issue because we're not talking about issue, but technical support as here as well. If there's any problem with the popping up of the pop up as well. So if there's any technical matters, the advice team is here, and it's more in the conception of the strategy, which which is more shared with our team and then the advice team as well. So
Right. Well, I've stopped us at 4:54, so let's just carry on. This is where you're setting up a messaging notification using the dashboard along with a live site, so you can see where these things pop up. So again, looks very straightforward.
quite simple to use. We made up scenarios. Actually, we say that we analyze this a lot of conversation with our customers. We a lot of needs, so we identify the needs. We know that specific items need specific advices as well. So if you're looking for a specific occasion, or you are in the back section, for example, which is quite specific as well, because you need measurements, you need how to take care of your item as well. So we identify a lot of scenarios, and iAdvize help us to either build it on the boat to automatize some of the scenarios, and then be able to
and we can see here the bot builder, which looks familiar as a workflow.
Yeah, workflow is quite simple
to handle the
drag and drop.
FAQs.
It's quite simple to use.
But now we're looking at the expert view. So we've looked at the bot, and now the expert pages. So this is the UK experts page. We can see the individual people. There's Ella and her chat history. So what can we see here? What are we measuring for these experts?
So you have all the KPIs, classic of satisfaction. So you, at the end of the conversation, obviously the customer will be able to rate if he's enjoying the conversation, how was the advice, how was the welcoming, how was the tone of conversation as well. So you will be able to have a global satisfaction rates. You also have the conversion rates, which is quite important, in order to know if the conversation then concludes to a sales. It's quite simple because we have the cookie. The cookie which is on the conversation, and for us, up to 7 days after the conversation, you should be able to know if the customer has made the purchase then.
And what sort of of uplift are you seeing? I assume there was an uplift, which is why you're still using it. But give us an indication of the performance that you've had from using the system.
But basically, we don't miss that much opportunity. So this is what those the most goals, that we wanted to reach. So be there when there's customer, and be able to inform a customer as well when they log into the websites. So the average baskets that I mentioned previously, which is 10 points up to a normal, I would say, advisors, which is part of my team because of the authenticity that I mentioned earlier, and the repeat business as well. Is quite important because we make a study to follow up with the behavior of a customer which has been in discussion with an expert, and we saw that the frequency of purchasing was much higher with someone which has been in discussion with an expert.
Right. Now, everything we've covered so far is so lovely. And I don't want to bring us down, but were there any challenges? No,
please don't.
Were there any challenges in implementing it, or was it all just plain sailing?
No, really quite simple. I mean,
you can be honest.
No, really quite simple. I mean, from what I remember, there's a tag that you need to implement on your specific pages to launch the conversation. But otherwise, really quite simple. I remember that was I think a week of integration for the solution to be live. As is a SaaS solution as well, everything is in the cloud right now, so you don't need to go to your CTO and say I need 4 developers to launch this tool. So no, quite simple, quite fast, and quite satisfying in terms of follow up with the technical team as well. Then,
and how has it been received by your team? So your team's obviously grown a bit. Are they Are they loving this? Is everyone saying, Nam, this is the best thing we've done? Be promoted? I mean, how has it been in life now that it's up and running?
I mean, at first, they see it as an extension of the team. So they think that now we have a bigger team because we have experts as well. They talk with them on a daily basis. They get close to them because there's a lot of different profile. You can have a writer who's at home and have time to chat with the customer as well, who is 17 years old, who is passionate about the brand as well. So you get close to these people because you talk to them on a daily basis, and you get personal as well a bit because you need to know more about your expert in order to know if the conversation with our customer is good as well. You analyze the conversation, because you need to know if the tone of conversation is great as well, and you advise them. So I think my teams see them as an extension of the team, and no challenges. I mean, no bad challenges. No, not saying that as an opponent. No. So no good.
Wow, work. I think we should stop. It's so positive. So look, I hope everyone's enjoyed that. It's nice to go beyond it's all lovely, and actually show front end and back end. And you've been fantastic in terms of just sharing your experience and openness with us. So if any other vendors want to actually just open the kimono, show us how stuff works, we're very happy to talk it through. So do drop us a note. But for now, at whatever we're calling this,
no idea.
It's
been
Fran,
lovely.
Nam, thank you both so much.
Visionar.
Sounds better than French accent.
Yeah, it does.
So from the Visionar, it's bye-bye.
The first one.
Bye.
Bye.